Hi, I'm Gia. For 35 years, I've lived in this Victorian house on Maple Street, the one with the wraparound porch and the garden that wins neighborhood awards every summer. It was supposed to be my forever home, the place where I'd grow old surrounded by memories and family. That was before my son Marcus brought home Veronica. Mom, you're going to love her, Marcus said, perched on my kitchen counter like he used to do as a kid. His eyes had that sparkle I hadn't seen since before his father passed. She's smart, ambitious, and she actually laughs at my terrible jokes. I poured us both some coffee, sliding his mug across the counter. Well, that last part makes me question her judgment, but I'm happy for you, honey. Very funny. Seriously, though, it's different this time. I've never felt this way before. I raised an eyebrow. You've known her for what? 3 months? When you know, you know. He took a sip of coffee and winced at the heat. Some things you just feel in your gut? Your gut, huh? Is that what we're calling it now? I teased. But something in his expression made me soften. Bring her for dinner this weekend. I want to meet this miracle worker. When I first met Veronica, she was all smiles and compliments. Long chestnut hair, designer clothes, and a way of tilting her head when you spoke that made you feel like the most interesting person in the world. Your home is absolutely gorgeous, Gia, she gushed, running her fingers along my oak banister. So much character. They don't make houses like this anymore. Thank you. It's been in our family for generations, I said, noticing how her eyes lingered on the crown molding, the antique fixtures. It must be worth a fortune now, especially in this neighborhood. Marcus wrapped his arm around her waist. Mom's turned down offers that would make your head spin. This place is priceless to us. Veronica's smile never wavered. Of course. Family treasures are beyond value. The whirlwind romance that followed gave me whiplash. Within 2 months, Marcus proposed. Another month later, they were married in a small ceremony. I voiced my concerns exactly once. Don't you think this is moving a little fast? I asked Marcus over lunch, a week before the wedding. Mom, I'm 32, not some kid. Veronica's special. He pushed his food around the plate. When Dad died, I didn't think I'd ever feel whole again. She changed that. What could I say to that? I swallowed my misgivings and threw myself into wedding preparations. The day after they returned from their weekend honeymoon, they showed up at my door. Veronica wore a crisp pantsuit instead of her usual flowing dresses, and beside her stood a thin man with wire-rimmed glasses clutching a leather portfolio. Gia, we need to talk, Veronica said, her voice businesslike. This is Gerald Hoffman, my attorney. Your attorney? I looked at Marcus, whose eyes were fixed on the floor. What's going on? Perhaps we could sit down? Hoffman suggested, already moving toward my living room. Once seated, Veronica cleared her throat. As Marcus's wife, I've been reviewing the family assets. This house should rightfully be in both your names, given Marcus's inheritance rights. Excuse me? We've prepared documents to transfer the deed, Hoffman interjected, pulling papers from his portfolio. It's quite straightforward. Mom, Marcus finally spoke, his voice barely audible. Veronica thinks it makes sense for estate planning purposes. Elena, my best friend since college, had dropped by and was standing in the doorway, mouth agape. Are you kidding me right now? I stared at the papers, then at my son's downcast face, and finally at Veronica's expectant expression. In that moment, I knew exactly who and what I was dealing with. Get out of my house, I said quietly. Mrs. Calloway, be reasonable, Hoffman began. I said get out. I stood up, hands shaking, and take your papers with you. As they left, I caught Elena's eye. Her expression said it all. War had just been declared. She's done this before, Thomas said, adjusting his reading glasses as he scanned his computer screen. My oldest friend and attorney looked up at me with those shrewd eyes that had gotten me through my divorce 20 years ago. 3 times that I can find. I paced across his office. How is that even possible? Different names, similar pattern, whirlwind romance, quick marriage, then legal pressure to transfer assets? He swiveled his monitor so I could see. Charlotte Wilson became Charlotte Diaz, became Charlotte Reynolds, became Veronica Blake, I finished, staring at the progression of driver's license photos. Same woman, different hair colors and styles. And now Veronica Calloway, Thomas added grimly. She's gotten better at covering her tracks, but she slipped up with her previous identity. The Reynolds divorce got messy. Elena leaned forward in her chair. Have you told Marcus yet? He won't take my calls, I said, the pain fresh. He texted saying Veronica thinks we need space until I come to my senses about the house. That's what she wants, Thomas said. To isolate him. Classic manipulation. Elena shook her head. We need to get him alone. Make him see what's happening. I tried. I threw up my hands. He showed up yesterday to pick up more clothes. When I started showing him what we found, he just, what? Thomas asked. He exploded. Said I was trying to ruin the only good thing in his life. That I've always been controlling. My voice cracked. He said his father would be ashamed of me. Elena was beside me instantly. Oh, Gia, that's not Marcus talking. That's her poison. Mr. Calloway? Thomas's secretary poked her head in. He's here. Marcus walked in, shoulders hunched, looking like he hadn't slept in days. Mom. Marcus, I didn't expect... I started toward him. Don't. He held up a hand. I'm only here because Mr. Richards called and said it was important. Thomas gestured to a chair. It is. Please sit down, Marcus. If this is more accusations against Veronica, it's not accusations, I interrupted. It's evidence. For the next 30 minutes, Thomas methodically presented everything. The previous identities, the pattern of marriages and asset transfers, the abrupt relocations. This is crazy, Marcus muttered, but I could see doubt creeping in. She would have told me if she'd been married before. People hide things from those they claim to love, Elena said gently. Even if this is true, Marcus argued, rubbing his temples, it doesn't mean she's after the house. Maybe she really thinks it's smart estate planning. Then why hire a lawyer before even discussing it with me? I countered. Why pressure you the day after your honeymoon? You're always so suspicious of everyone I date. Maybe if you'd given her a real chance. Marcus, Thomas interrupted, pulling out a final document. This was filed yesterday in county court. Marcus took the paper, his face draining of color as he read. A petition to declare Gia mentally incompetent to manage her assets? His hands began to shake. No, Veronica wouldn't. She said she was just looking into options. She's moving faster than usual, Thomas said. Typically, she waits a few months. My guess? She's worried about what we've uncovered. Marcus looked up, his eyes finally clear. What do we do? We set a trap, I said firmly, and I need your help to spring it. The dinner table was set with my best china, the set Veronica had commented on multiple times. Marcus had convinced her I wanted to apologize, to start fresh. She arrived wearing a conciliatory smile and carrying a bouquet of peonies. These are lovely, I said, taking them. Why don't you have a seat? Marcus is running late. Oh? Her smile faltered slightly. I thought he was already here. Client emergency. You know how it is with architects. I gestured to the dining room. Wine? As I poured, Veronica smoothed her napkin. Gia, I want to say how pleased I am that you've reconsidered. Family harmony is so important. Absolutely. I took my seat across from her. Though sometimes family isn't who we think they are. Wouldn't you agree, Charlotte? The wineglass froze halfway to her lips. Excuse me? Or do you prefer Veronica now? It must be hard keeping track. She set down her glass carefully. I don't know what Marcus has been telling you, but Marcus hasn't told me anything. But Thomas Richards, you remember my attorney? He's very thorough. Her eyes darted to the door. Where is Marcus, really? He'll be here, along with some other guests. I checked my watch. Any minute now. I think I should go. She stood abruptly. Before meeting Detective Rivera, he's so looking forward to discussing the Reynolds case with you. Fraud charges were never formally dropped, just suspended when you disappeared. The mask slipped, revealing something cold and calculating. You think you're so clever? No, I think you're sloppy. The competency petition? Amateur move? Veronica laughed, a harsh sound, nothing like her usual melodic tinkle. Marcus signed it too, you know. It was his idea. We both know that's not true. Doesn't matter what's true, only what I can make him believe. She leaned across the table. He's weak, Gia, like his father probably was. Men who need mothering are so easy to... The dining room door opened. Marcus stood there, face ashen, with Thomas and Detective Rivera behind him. How long have you been there? Veronica's voice shifted instantly, vulnerable and confused. Long enough, Marcus said quietly. Baby, you know she's twisting things. Veronica rushed to him, tears already forming. She's trying to come between us because she can't let go. Marcus stepped back. Stop. Just stop. Everything she's told you is lies. Veronica's voice rose. We can still fix this. I love you. Like you loved David Reynolds? Detective Rivera asked, notebook in hand. Or Michael Diaz, or... You don't understand. Veronica spun toward me, finger pointing. She manipulated all of this. She's trying to steal you from me, Marcus. The only person stealing anything is you, I said calmly. You bitter old witch. She lunged forward suddenly, grabbing the nearest object, a heavy crystal vase, and hurling it at my head. I ducked. The vase shattered against the wall. Assault, Thomas remarked mildly. That'll help the restraining order case. You're all against me, Veronica shrieked, reaching for another projectile. Detective Rivera stepped forward, handcuffs appearing. Ma'am, I need you to calm down. You'll regret this, she hissed as the detective restrained her. All of you, this isn't over. Marcus watched, shell-shocked as they led her away. Mom, I'm so sorry. I should have listened. I simply nodded, too drained for forgiveness yet. The courthouse hallway buzzed with whispered conversations. I sat on a hard bench, Elena on one side, Marcus on the other. You okay? Elena asked, squeezing my hand. Just ready for this to be over. Marcus fidgeted with his tie. What if they don't find her guilty? The evidence is overwhelming, I reassured him. Thomas says, Mrs. Calloway? A court officer appeared. They're ready for you. Inside, Veronica sat beside her attorney, wearing a demure blue dress, hair pulled back in a modest ponytail, the picture of innocence. When our eyes met, hers pleaded silently. On the witness stand, I recounted everything. The sudden appearance with a lawyer, the pressure tactics, the threats. And has the defendant attempted to contact you since the restraining order was issued? The prosecutor asked. Multiple times. Letters apologizing, claiming it was all a misunderstanding. She even sent messages through mutual acquaintances. Objection, Veronica's attorney called. Hearsay. I have the letters and recorded messages, I replied. And witnesses. During cross-examination, Veronica's attorney tried a different approach. Mrs. Calloway, isn't it possible you misinterpreted my client's intentions? That this was simply a family disagreement that escalated? A family disagreement doesn't involve falsifying mental competency claims or assault? But you admit you were unwelcoming to your son's new wife from the beginning? I welcomed her into my home repeatedly. I only became unwelcoming when she tried to take that home. When Veronica took the stand, she was all trembling vulnerability. I just wanted to be part of their family, she said, dabbing at tears. Gia always made me feel like an outsider. The house issue was just me trying to secure our future, mine and Marcus's. And your previous marriages? The prosecutor asked. Painful mistakes. I was young, naive. I didn't tell Marcus because I was ashamed. And the name changes? Fresh starts, she whispered. Is that so wrong? The prosecutor approached with a document. Is this your signature on a loan application dated 2 weeks after your marriage to Marcus Calloway? Veronica frowned. I suppose so. Where you listed the property at 742 Maple Street, Mrs. Calloway's home, as collateral? A property you had no legal claim to? Her mask slipped again. It would have been mine eventually. After 3 days of testimony, the verdict came. Guilty on charges of attempted fraud, filing false legal documents, and assault. Outside the courthouse, reporters gathered. Veronica was being led to a police car when she spotted us. Marcus, please, she called out. I did it for us. I still love you. Marcus stared straight ahead, his hand finding mine. Later that evening, Elena, Thomas, Marcus, and I sat on my porch, watching fireflies emerge in the twilight. I should have seen it, Marcus said for the 100th time. All the red flags. Love blinds us, Elena said. Don't beat yourself up. She knew exactly what to say, how to make me feel. He shook his head. I don't think I can trust my judgment again. You will, I assured him. But maybe next time take more than 3 months before proposing? That earned a small smile. Thomas raised his glass. To Gia, who never wavered. And to justice, Elena added. I looked at my house, my safe haven, and felt profound gratitude. To lessons learned the hard way. As night fell, we talked about moving forward. The divorce would be simple. The marriage was built on fraud. Marcus would stay with me until he found his footing again. Thomas was pursuing civil damages. Mom, Marcus said as the others left. Yes? The house. It is yours. I never wanted. I know. I patted his hand. And someday it will be yours. The right way. The porch light cast long shadows across my garden as I thought about Veronica in her cell. Some people spend their lives trying to take what isn't theirs, never understanding that true security can't be stolen or schemed. It must be built, one honest day at a time. Have you ever had someone try to take something precious from you? What lengths would you go to protect it? Share your stories in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more real-life drama.